Hi, this is Mike Fry, and you are listening to the We Effing Told You So podcast. Today is July 20th, 2026, and today's installment is the sex trafficking connections no one is talking about. Recent news of the arrest of the Tate brothers, who are facing dozens of charges relating to rape and sex trafficking in the UK, and dozens more similar charges in Romania, should have been front-page news for weeks, particularly given their years-long close ties to the Trump family, even serving as Barron Trump's dating coach. All of the reporting, however, has ignored the most obvious problem, hidden in plain sight, and it should make any decent reporter stop what they're doing and start reporting on it, yet no one seems to be. News of the arrest barely made it through the weekend before falling out of the headlines, with no one talking about the real important connections. While the press has been focusing their attention on the ties between Barron Trump and the Tate brothers, the reality is that they have been hanging out at Mar-a-Lago for more than a decade. Barron Trump is only 20 years old now. He was 10 years old or younger when these creepy siblings started hanging out at Trump's club. It therefore seems unlikely that Barron Trump is the key connection point in the Trump family. Furthermore, it was just last year in 2025 when Donald Trump intervened in Romania, where the Tate brothers were being held on rape and sex trafficking charges, to get their travel restrictions lifted. Immediately thereafter, they returned to Florida, where they've been living and continuing to connect with the Trump family. As vacuous and simplistic as the coverage has been of the Tate brothers' arrest, there's an obvious and shocking bit of reality that no one seems to be bringing up. Both of the two largest global sex trafficking operations have been run by people who've been hanging out at Mar-a-Lago with the Trump family. What is the likelihood of that being some random coincidence? Our assessment? 0. Particularly when we also know that Donald Trump is an adjudicated rapist himself, who was recorded on audio bragging about sexually assaulting women, and who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for more than a decade. Nothing about any of that is particularly complicated or controversial. All of that's already in the public record. They are dots that are easy to connect. So why aren't any of our so-called news organizations connecting them? Why do they continue to provide only superficial coverage of the individual points? While we're disappointed by the coverage of the Tate brothers' story, we're not at all surprised by it. As we've previously reported, the record proves that Trump was actually trafficking young girls to Epstein from Mar-a-Lago's spa for more than a decade, and the press has refused to say that out loud too. They say things like, quote, "The girls from the spa were sent to Epstein's home to provide spa services." They say the girls complained about being molested. They say Trump continued to send girls. They say Trump complained when Epstein, quote, "stole his girls." They say everything other than what all that clearly shows. Trump continued sending young girls to Epstein's home for years, knowing full well they would be sexually abused, and only complained when Epstein, quote, "stole them." Given how the press covered that, they're glossing over the fact that the common factor between these two large sex trafficking stories is the rapist currently in the White House. When all of this eventually ends, and we hope that soon, a lot of people are going to need to be investigated, and the owners of corporate media are high on that list. If and when they are ultimately implicated in all of this, we will have to say, "We effing told you so." You have been listening to the We Effing Told You So podcast. You can find us on Substack, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and most other places podcasts can be found. Please like and subscribe and share on your social media. And thanks for listening.